Boom! Here we are.
Ah! So scary when it gets going, isn't it?
It is.
Sets off. $1,000,000 an hour.
Right. So here we are in the most unprepared itinerary in existence. And we're going to have a laugh. But
No.
we're here to just have a chat with our acclaimed running man, Mr. Elliot Spencer here.
Extreme jogger.
So Elliot, tell us about running the Premier League.
Yeah, the idea came about really from I did something similar but on a smaller scale last year. So running between the Humber Bridge and London Bridge, and as soon as I'd done that, I mean, a bit more background. I wanted to raise money for charity first and foremost. Got into running a lot. I think I may have said that on a previous podcast that we did, and I wanted to make use of it. And I thought, well, if I can run a long way. I'm not very good at running, but I can run a long way. I've got a willingness to suffer. So why not try and raise a little bit of money for it? So I did that with the Humber Bridge to London Bridge.
How far was that?
208 miles, that one, over 6 days. So, and it was great, but I never really got the feeling that I was hoping I was going to get from it. So it never really sunk in of what I did or what I achieved. A lot of the, yeah, I mean, it is, but there's still, I mean, which I've got on a larger scale now is this detachment sort of feeling to it that I didn't actually do it, or it never felt like, okay, that's great, I've done that now. It just, the feeling that leaves me at the end of it is sort of like a now what feeling, like what now, what can I do? And when you do things like that, you don't think, oh, okay, I'll do something smaller. You think, well, how can I add to that or make it more difficult or more challenging? And so this brought upon this challenge, and it was just I don't know, a stupid idea that came into my head that I thought might capture people's imagination. And even then, I mean, doing the 208 miles, I knew how it felt to do a long way, but I didn't really understand, because I'd never run as far as I attempted to this time, what the toll it'd take on my body and psychologically and so on. So yeah, I then took on the challenge of running.
This year, running the Premier League. What did that come from?
Yeah, well, it's just, again, like I said, it was an idea that I had following on from the Humber Bridge to London Bridge. It felt like, to me, a natural progression. I'm sure when I say that to you two, it doesn't sound like a natural progression. It just seems like a idiot thing to do.
I struggle to get past the nearest pub, generally.
Well, it depends how many I've had, but I'm with you at that point. But
I was sort of thinking, where's this going to end up? Because it's like a bit Steve Irwin. He kept poking things until eventually something poked him back.
Mentioning Steve Irwin, it could be Australia by the time we finish this.
Yeah,
exactly.
It could be. I either need to think of something else that will give me that same fulfillment that this is doing, or I'll just keep running forever. So I will be like Forrest Gump until I just work out. Exactly.
So you set up on running the Premier League, which was to run between all the Premier League stadiums.
Yeah.
And how far was that planned to be?
It was meant to be 750 miles. So starting in Newcastle, working my way through Manchester, Liverpool, then down the Midlands clubs, then to Ipswich, London, then Brighton, Southampton and Bournemouth. So that would have been 750 miles if I completed it. I managed to get 500 miles.
Amazing, by the way.
It is.
That's more than double your last thing, isn't it?
It absolutely is, but I can't, that's not sinking in with me at the minute, because I still feel the disappointment of not achieving what I set out to achieve, rather than what, the amazing thing that I did achieve, which is more than I've ever done before.
You need to keep your toes, though, don't you? You don't want to lose toes over this.
Absolutely. I completely agree. But there is a mentality of going into doing something like this. You're not thinking almost with a logical and sensible mind. You're thinking with a crazy mind, where, yeah, you've got to be you have got to be mad to do it if you're serious about doing it, and you're not just, because if you're going to be sort of flaky and go, well, I'll stop when it hurts, then I would have stopped on day one or hundreds of times.
I felt the same playing golf with Alex yesterday.
Yes, that was a similar thing, wasn't it? But what Elliot's doing here is more Scott of the Antarctic than anything else. I mean, there's going to be that point where he's going to push it too far. I'm concerned as a citizen of the local area. I'm getting a little worried now. I feel we need
Are you a
staging
citizen of the
intervention.
local area, Alex? Really?
I think we need staging intervention on my golf playing more than anything. But definitely with Elliot.
So, Elliot, staying on the thing, what were you more worried about, the distance or the British weather?
The distance, definitely. The British weather, I'm used to that. It doesn't matter. I was more concerned when it started getting pleasant. That was when I struggled weather-wise.
Well, it was actually quite hot when you were out there, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. It was. It got too hot. But the distance, it was an unknown thing. So I knew what it felt like to do 200 miles. I didn't know what it felt like to get up to 500 miles. I didn't know what my body was going to do. And more importantly, what my mind was going to do. Because these things are like, to me, they're like a psychological challenge where the physical aspect is a byproduct of it. It's not the other way around. So it's about overcoming obstacles and getting around it. So all the issues I had, aside from what put a stop to it, but all the other physical issues, it's almost like like the Krypton factor. You're working out ways to keep going. How do you make adjustments to allow yourself to keep moving forward? Do you start at a different time? Do you prepare yourself in a different way? All these different things that you think, or I was thinking of, and still, while I see myself as a complete novice in this world, I'm still learning about it. So I'm sort of making it up as I go along, but trying to get tips and advice through, YouTube or whatever other forms I can.
Cool. I mean, how much did you manage to get on towards your goal on this one, on your GoFundMe?
Well, I wanted £5,000, and I'm currently, I think, about just under 1,500 because I got £100 donation today in cash from the Methodist Church, which was amazing and hugely gratefully received. So I need to transfer that onto the Just Giving, so it'll take it to around 1,500. But I'm going to leave it running for a little while and still promote it for a little while more to hopefully get a bit more raised for it. But that's another part of the disappointment for me, really, because a big part of this is obviously about seeing what I'm able to achieve, but also about the raising the money, because there is something almost selfish in doing fundraising, for me at least, because there's a sort of a sense of smugness internally that I feel that I'm getting from it. Even though I'm doing good, there is, I feel like, oh, I like, obviously I don't outwardly promote it as such, but inside I'm feeling like I've done something really good. So
I think
it's a mix.
I think that's it. That's an emboldened character that you get when you're helping out, you're putting yourself out, and you're volunteering or doing something like this, a challenge like this for charity. I think that's fantastic, and you should feel good inside about doing that.
Yeah, no,
With the feel good, isn't there?
yeah, no, absolutely. It's just it's a weird, it's my own mind. I sort of feel guilty for feeling sort of I'm getting so much from it when I feel like I shouldn't get as much from it as I do by doing what I'm doing, because it is massively important. If there was a way that I could make everything about doing things like this, I would love to be able to do that, because I do get so much from it. I know I'm never going to be a millionaire. I'm never going to make loads of money. I'm never going to do anything like that. But what I do want to be able to look back on at the end of my life, and the way I'm going at the minute, probably not too far away.
Steady.
But I would like to be able to look back and feel like I've done something important, by helping raise money for people that can never give it back to me. That's what I feel is the most fulfilling part of my life, or what I've done so far, and I'd like to be able to continue to do it.
There's got to be another side to it, the experience of actually doing it and running through all those places and meeting all the people along the way. I'm sure you've been seeing people and meeting up with people that have been supporting you. What's Is there anything that's on this part of it? I'll say, because you are planning to go on and do the rest of it later in the year, so I
Yeah.
think you should keep the your page open, and we should give it a good push and see if we can move it towards the $5,000, and help you get there towards the end. I don't suppose there's any problem in saying that it's still going. I'm going back to it. I'll finish it off.
Yeah, no, that would be amazing. Anything you could both do to help raise the awareness, that
Well,
would be
there's
amazing.
there's no pressure to close the page, is there? They don't sort of stipulate a time, do they?
No, I think it's a certain time of inactivity. I think if there's nothing happening with it over a certain period of time, but I'm
So
no expert. I don't know.
so long as a steady trickle of money comes in, then it'll stay open.
But yeah, well, I mean,
Oh gosh,
it's in everyone's interest to keep it open as long as possible,
Yeah.
really. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you've got some great
Oh,
support
good.
on there already. I'm just looking at the page now, Elliot, and there's Taylor's Chalk in there. They've stuck 75 quid in. The Maltings Tea Rooms, £50 they've put in it. So that's great support.
It is, yeah.
And we'll get
Have
some
they
It is,
emails
raised
and
isn't
money
say,
within? Have they
Thank you.
raised money within their like little? They put a tips jar on the bar type thing.
Yeah, I think that's what Taylor's did. I wasn't aware of it until I saw a post on Facebook about it, that they'd put
Wow.
during the vintage day. I think Sam put a bucket out on the bar, and they raised 75 quid through doing so. So it's amazing.
fantastic.
So yeah, I really, really appreciate it. Unfortunately, she's not open this weekend, so I would have gone and thanked her personally. But yeah,
I'm sure you'll have
things like
chance.
that.
You'll have
I
Yeah,
chance.
will.
well, should they-
Yeah, I'll make, not for my benefit, of course.
course.
Just
No, no, no,
just
no.
yeah. So no, those things are amazing. So you're right. Like it's obviously the raising money bit is massively important. There's a personal aspect to doing these kind of things because it's about what I'm able to achieve. Because most of us never put ourselves in this position, like of that level of discomfort, to see how you can overcome things. Because what I think and what I used to do is, as soon as things got a little bit difficult, I'd stop. I'd go, well, that's enough now. I don't want to hurt myself, or that's a bit much. I'll rest up, or whatever. You never really put yourself in those kind of positions, and I find it fascinating, personally, to see how I can overcome these situations that we live in such a comfortable world now that we never have to challenge ourselves.
So what's been the
No,
most
you don't.
memorable thing that's happened on the run up to now then? Or the weirdest thing?
Yeah, it's really difficult to answer that because I feel like I dreamt it. That's what it feels like. So, as I said, there's sort of a detachment from it, and I don't know if that's like some psychological protection in a way, but because it was such a um extreme and enormous task to take upon, I feel like my brain separated the reality of what I was actually doing. So when I look back at it now, I could almost be convinced that it never happened, because it just feels like a hazy dream. So there's odd points along the way, like going to certain areas. I think we spoke about before. There's a place called Lichfield in the Midlands that's got an amazing cathedral. I didn't actually get to see it much apart from driving through, because once I was in the room, I had my legs up in the air on pillows with ice and everything else. But my friend who was supporting me, he went out and had a few beers in Lichfield and was messaging me and sending me pictures of how great it was. And so I just had to sort of admire from afar. But there was
Vicarious tourist.
exactly, yeah, that's right, yeah. But there was a few places like that. Another place along the canal called Foxton Locks, and it had 10 locks. Basically, I think again we discussed this before, but either up a hill or down a hill. And it was like a little village had been built around it, a pub and a shop and a few different things, and it was just a really lovely little place that we didn't expect to see. It was just a stopping point
Fantastic.
that was accessible. So yeah, there was lots of little places like that. I saw an old man roller skating in Cambridge. That amused me quite a bit.
Wow,
So
I wonder if I could follow up on that, maybe.
yes, yeah. But
Is he a regular feature of Cambridge?
well, I would imagine he was, but it was fascinating. I just thought, well, he looks like he should have a walking stick. He looked like he was in his 80s, and
It's
he's
like
roller
Benny
skating.
Speed.
Dean. Yeah.
Old
Yeah,
dude,
exactly.
old dude
Yeah.
skating down Venice Beach. That'd be
Well, yeah, no, but it's very cool. I was impressed, but it was just something that stuck out in my mind. Another, I think again, I said there was a place in Durham called Pity Me, which amused me somewhat as a place name, and then the hotel called Cemetery Hotel. So there are a few little bits that sort of jumped out at me, but the rest was like a blur of pain and eating and drinking and so on.
I imagine. So what's left to do? You got to London basically. So you've got to pick
I
up the
did.
London teams at Brentford, is it that you've got to pick up
Yeah,
from?
that's right. Yeah, so I've got to get to Brentford, then Fulham, Chelsea, Palace, then down to Brighton, across to Southampton, and finish at Bournemouth.
And how many days do you think that'll take?
I don't know. It's hard. I mean, I could
It's the
work it out
mileage,
in a
isn't
short
it?
amount of time. Yeah, so it's just the mileage rather than the days, and depending it will even. I mean, the amount of time it will take me will depend on the weather conditions and there's so many variables, and I haven't really thought about it too much. Since I've done it, I haven't really focused on the next part, even though I know I want to get this next part done. I've sort of allowed me uh, 4 or 5 days of wallowing, I suppose, just wallowing, feeling sorry for myself, going having a few beers and regretting it, and so on, and then I'll go. I'll in the next day or so, I'll snap out of it and I'll get refocused and get back to it. I went to the gym for the first time today, which I felt was like the first stage in getting some semblance of normality back. Obviously not
Have
running. I didn't run.
they missed you in there then?
I No, I doubt it very much. Most of them, you wouldn't know anyway. But there's a few people with different challenges. There's a chap there I saw today. He's doing a 70-mile run. I think it's called the Hadrian's Wall Challenge. So along
All
70
right,
miles
yeah.
across the Hadrian's Wall, he's doing that next month. There's another young
Up and
girl, or
down
not
as well,
young.
isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. That will be tough. And
It'll be
yeah,
a lot easier now. There's not all them trees in the way as
Well,
well, won't there? I would have thought.
one tree.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, there's a one less. Yes.
What happened to those guys?
They've been sent
Have they
out.
been
Well, no,
sent?
they're waiting for sentencing. I think
So is it? So will they go to prison?
they reckon
Yeah,
so.
by the sound of it, yes.
So I wonder if it
It's
worked like
uh,
that with every tree. Then every public. If
I
I
think
went
it
to
was because
Howden Marsh,
it was
Oh
such a
no.
significant, no,
Other trees,
because there are people
you
who
can get away
randomly,
with a bit of community service.
yeah,
Oh, we
people
won't.
exactly. Yeah,
randomly logged. People
Yeah,
randomly
yeah,
log all the time, don't they? I've noticed trees just disappearing.
but that
yeah.
one's
There's
been in
obviously.
Hollywood, you know. Well, it
Yeah,
hasn't
Has it?
been
that
in
was a
Hollywood.
celebrity. He's in Braveheart once. He was in
I think he
Braveheart.
was Braveheart. Yeah,
He wasn't blued up or anything, but he was in Braveheart, I think.
There you
yeah.
go.
He wasn't
Yeah.
part of the charge. No,
Oh,
definitely not.
Well,
well, I
have they
suppose
been there then? Well,
it could actually
won't
go
it?
to Hollywood now then if they've kept some of it.
Yeah. Well, apparently they did keep a bit of it, just the wedge that got out, so it fell over.
Yeah, yeah. Is that what did him in? That on the
Yeah,
video?
I think it was a bit of evidence that, along with the
that,
chainsaw, they've disappeared. They've disappeared.
and
Was
didn't
there?
they start arguing with people on the phones about whether it was a good idea or something?
Yeah,
I
well,
think they
no,
were
yeah, they
slagging.
were. Obviously, these guys are just a few sandwiches short of a picnic, really. But
Are there pubs nearby to the tree? Because I'd
Will be
imagine
now.
it seems like a drunken idea. That's what it seems like
But
to me.
people can camp and stuff. You don't have to actually, And if they've took a chainsaw, they've probably gone in a vehicle. I would have thought.
yeah, they went in a
Yeah,
van. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
yeah,
probably vaguely
it's just
planned.
being vandals, weren't they? Just petty vandals. Just
yeah.
Yeah.
a bit sad.
Silly,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure a prison sentence is the right.
Well, it deters others from doing such. I think that with stuff like this, they tend to do deterrent sentencing, don't they? Which is a thing, isn't it? Because otherwise,
apparently the judge said for them to expect to spend a reasonably long amount of time in prison.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's
Anyway,
the what's it called? The sycamore something. What's it called? The sycamore.
whatever it's called.
All right, we'll cut
He
that.
was
Mate.
called. He was a sycamore.
So
though,
back to the
wasn't he?
run. Back to the run, Elliot. So there's
Yes.
it's Brentford, and then down to the south coast. Brighton, Southampton, Bournemouth. I think you said.
Yes. That's it. That's
The bad
correct.
news is, then you'll have to run back up to Leeds.
Well, that's true. If it goes into next season, there is Leeds. Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, that's fine.
Surely you can do a home run. Just run
Yes.
from home.
We'll do it.
Well, I could do
And then
that.
get trained back.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was thinking about doing the lead stretch. I was going to do roly polies and cartwheels. So just to make it more interesting and give my
That'll be
feet a
very
rest.
interesting. Yeah.
You could do Otley
Yeah.
Run while you're there.
Well, yeah, a lot of them do that, I think. Yeah. Or by the end of the night, they're doing cartwheels and roly polies. That's for sure.
Yeah, you might as well tack that onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I'll
just
do
a local.
fancy dress.
I'm not bothered about Burnley. We can forget that.
Yep. Yep. True.
While
And
you're
yeah.
over
whoever
there.
else gets up, I think it's Coventry, Sunderland,
Whoa.
Sheffield, or who's the other one?
Well, this is
Not
going to be
important
more than
because Leeds are
700.
already up.
This will be
It's
more
gonna
than
be longer than-
750 miles. It'll be longer than the last one.
Well, you
Yeah.
said you wanted to go bigger.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
Just wanted to break
That
it
is
to you
true.
easily.
Yeah, thanks, Sid. I appreciate that.
Yes. Sun see the look on your face.
Yes.
So, what club do you support, Elliot?
As a kid, it was always Arsenal, but
The Arsenal.
to be honest, as I've got older, I've not really had an affiliation with any club. It's just enjoying watching football in general. So
Yeah.
I've sort of it's not the same as when I was a kid. We was all my brothers. We all used to support different football teams just so we could shout at each other, really. But now it's very different. I just enjoy watching the game, and it was great, to be honest. I mean, I really did enjoy going to some of these clubs. I think I may have said previously, like Villa's ground at the Holt End, absolutely amazing. Like the architecture and so on at some of these places. Even going to Tottenham, like their brand new stadium,
Yeah.
extremely impressive in a completely different way.
Yeah. Modern
just-
to the ancient
Exactly.
architecture. Yeah.
That's exactly it. So doing that kind of stuff was a real privilege, and the whole thing was, I think already now my mind is softening a little from the initial sort of psychological pain of not achieving what I wanted to achieve, to actually appreciating a little bit of the opportunity that I had to go to these places and do what I did, and also the appreciation I've got for everyone that's helped me as well, because I in a very two-dimensional way, when I thought about people doing these kind of challenges, I just think about the person doing the run. That's just like one spoke in the wheel. Without all these other things and people in place, you couldn't do it at all. So without support drivers, I'd never have been able to achieve it. Without my mum amazingly booking all the accommodation and so on, I'd never have been able to do it. And there's
Brilliant.
that, number of different, people that put a lot of effort in to make it happen, and without them it couldn't have happened. Like, without me or any of the others, it couldn't have happened. So I'm hugely appreciative of that.
It'd be nice to see like a sort of the whole spread of support, because we met one of your supporters who'd done some of the driving, a very encouraging bloke who was
Paul, I
very
think it was.
encouraging of your work. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was definitely behind you.
Yes.
He was
Egging
going
you
the
on.
other way. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
exactly.
it's just putting faces to all that sort of the backroom boys and girls, It's fantastic meeting.
Have any of the clubs got
Meeting
involved,
Paul.
Elliot, and helped you out? And
No, not really. I was
that's a bit of a
surprised.
shame, isn't it?
It is a shame, but I sort of understand it now. So it's my ignorance. Initially, I thought, the clubs will be really interested in it. One, it's a charity that they work with through the League Managers Association, so Prostate Cancer UK, and the League Managers Association, who represent a lot of these football clubs, all work together. And two, I just thought, well, from a charitable side, they'll really be into that. But as I explored it a little bit more, contacting the clubs, they get inundated with requests all the time from charities and different things. And a lot of these clubs have already got charitable partnerships that they've already got set up with different things and places and charities, as well as corporate sponsorships that sort of overlap with what I'm trying to do as well. So these companies will pay lots and lots of money to basically get what I'm asking for free from them. So I do understand that it's not as easy as I thought it would be. In a way, I feel like it's like me ringing up ITV and saying, "Give me an ad in the middle of Britain's Got Talent, please," but I'm doing it for a charity, so let me do it for free. And it's a similar thing with a football club. So it was a lesson learned, and it was just out of naivety or ignorance on my part. But yeah, so unfortunately, there wasn't any clubs that did really get me behind me. But in hindsight, I understand why.
But what about other sponsorship? Did you manage to get any other sponsorship from kit people or?
Well, I got support from BMW, which was great. So they're a coffee customer, and they've been
Oh, from
amazing. So
Howden Coffee, that's your business, isn't it?
yes, exactly, yeah. So from Howden Coffee, BMW in Doncaster are a customer of mine. So they supported me with clothing, and also the use of a car for the entirety of the challenge, and got its sign written as well. So it was amazing, and they have been absolutely like fabulous, really, with their support, and they've gone
Shout
above
out to
and beyond.
BMW. Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
fantastic. Well
yeah.
done.
So I really, really appreciate everything that they've done. So it's been great. Yeah. So that worked out really well. Also, I was helped by a shoe company. So through a relationship I have with an independent running shop in Epworth, they basically passed me on to one of their suppliers who's donated lots of pairs of running shoes for the last 2 challenges I've done. So saved me a huge amount of money on what I would have had to have spent on running shoes, and they're not cheap.
No,
Again, like
definitely not.
I'm still a novice at all this and trying to understand it. They've helped me sort of fast track an understanding about, what kind of running shoes I need and how my feet work. So the independent running shop has got a treadmill that they can work out what my running style is and so on, and advise me for shoes that are appropriate. And then they pass me on to this running shoe company, and then they donate me, a number of pairs of running shoes. So I've been very, very
Fantastic.
fortunate.
That's
Yeah.
So
really good.
they're in Epworth.
The independent running shop is, yeah, they're called Meters to Miles, and they sort of led me on in different directions. So through them, also, I've met a lady who does physio and sports massage, and she supported me hugely as well because she's an ultra runner. Also, she's ran Land's End to John O'Groats, Edinburgh to London, and she's a physio and sports massage therapist. So she understands all aspects of it really, from a physical and a psychological aspect. So she's been great as well, and she came out for part of the challenge I did, which was amazing. So I've been very fortunate to get a lot of connections through one place. Again, just through Googling it before, and then through doing these things, you build up relationships and get these connections. So, but yeah, I'm eternally grateful for all the help I've received.
It's brilliant. That's fantastic.
While you were running around, were you sort of thinking of different ways of how you'd have done it and what you'd have changed in that, or are you just
Did
totally
you have any
focused on?
strange rituals as well, or pre-run
I did
superstitions that you had to go through?
not rituals as such, but I did talk to myself a lot, as in this is true. When I was in a lot of pain, I was I was sort of trying to convince myself that I wasn't feeling the pain, and also in my head. So when I say talk to myself, a lot of it was in my head, not in actual reality, but or out loud. But I was trying to think of, like, focusing on making my children proud. That was the thing. That was something that was in my head all the time. Because obviously they're going to, like most people, think I'm absolutely nuts for even attempting this, and they're the same. So I just thought, well, if I can stick at it for a bit, they won't just think I'm a crazy loser. At least they'll see that I've
I'm
like
sure.
tried my very best.
I'm
So
sure they see the other side of it. They see what you're
yeah,
going through.
well, yeah, hopefully. So that was that was a thing that I was, when I was suffering quite a lot in a lot of discomfort, I was sort of, it was more of a mantra in my head really. But so yeah, that was my sort of ritual stroke mantra.
Going back to the running shoes, do you think your running shoes got a chance to develop a personality in the whole story, or do you just chuck them away when they get a bit nasty?
When they're past their best, they have to go because they're not going to work. It's basically like suspension on a car. So once the suspension goes, you don't stay mates with them. You get them changed, and for the, I mean, they're fine if you want to walk around in them and you haven't. They don't look a complete mess. But for the functionality of going out for a run, I wouldn't wear them anymore once they've done their bit. So I would have to change them over.
Well,
Because I can feel it even in my knees if all the cushioning has gone that was there originally. Once you start running, and then once that happens, I can just feel it reverberate through my legs,
I bet, yeah.
and I just so
Right,
it's
so did you have like a pit stop on the way then that you pulled into for a quick change, or
no, it didn't
your
work like
shoes?
that. No, it didn't.
Not like Formula One. Jack him
Yeah,
up.
you've been watching too much
Oh.
Formula One. Exactly. Yeah,
I
no,
can
it
just
didn't work quite
imagine.
like that. But I did change en route. So if especially you get trail running shoes as well as a neutral running shoe, so like road running shoes and sort of off-road running shoes. So if I knew I was going to more sort of undulating sort of paths and so on, I would put the trail shoes on. And if I was on road running, I'd put the neutrals on. But again, it's like a learning curve for me. So I do all these things thinking it's the right thing to do. People could be making it up and telling me these things, and I'm just blindly following. But yeah, I'm still, as I said earlier, I'm still a novice at all this. So I'm picking things up as I go because there's so many people more experienced than me doing these things. So I just try and take little nuggets of information from things that I see and hear and so on from other people with much more experience.
So that's definitely in your mind to carry on and complete the challenge. Any idea when you think you might get round to that?
Well, I want my feet to fully heal, and I want to be able to get running again. And that's my main focus. Once I start running again, I think I can really focus it in my mind a lot better. It feels that I can't even think about it at the minute while I can't run. Once I can start running, I will definitely give it some proper thought. But I would imagine, and I don't know, this is probably once the main part of summer has passed, so maybe early September-ish type of time
Right.
potentially. But again, don't hold me to that. There's just
Well, your feet
ideas.
have got to heal, as you say. How are they doing now? Because they were in quite a mess, weren't they, the other day when
Yeah,
you
that
had to stop?
absolutely were. Yeah, I mean, they're improved hugely, much better than they were, which is a good sign. But I know I still couldn't run at the minute, but that's understandable through the conditions that they were in or condition that they were in. I don't think, Alex, it's been diagnosed as trench foot as yet, but it's
Well, I've got my money on trench foot.
well,
I'm still
yes,
leaving that money on there.
yeah. Well, I'm waiting for the doctor to come back to me. I had to send pictures through, so I'm awaiting a response to see what they
Well,
come back with.
if he needs to call me, I don't mind him calling me, and I can confirm it for him.
Second opinion. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, if you had
Yeah.
to complete the next leg dressed as a football mascot, which do you think you'd do it as?
Well, I don't know what all the football mascots look like. So if you give me some description, I can tell you. Give me the top
Do you
five.
know, I don't know any of them myself, but I was just thinking it'd be great if we go to the clubs and say he'll do it in a mascot.
Yep. Listen, yeah.
So the
Yeah.
right money.
Listen, I'm happy to be a performing monkey. It's fine. It's not a problem. I've done it
I
the
think
rest
it's
of my
hard
life.
enough without the stuff, though, isn't it? When you see these rhinos running the marathons and stuff like that, and you're just
They're
thinking,
insane.
no, it's all going too far.
Well, I'd be tempted if there's built-in Compeed plasters for my feet. I would have a go, I think.
Well, and anyone could be running it, couldn't they? If you're in a big suit, you
That's
could just
true.
have different people every so often.
That sounds like a great idea.
I think we've got a
Taking it
bit of a storybook going off here with this. I think we could make it into a film by the end of this. Who
Let's
do you
do
think?
it. Yeah.
Who do you think could play you, Elliot? And who do you think could play your shoes?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure who. Yeah, who would play me? I'm not sure there's anyone that unfortunate as a successful actor that could play me. Who do you think?
I
What's
think
his name?
Gary Oldman would be all right.
Jason Statham, I think.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Yeah, like Cockney geezer.
Tom Cruise, because he likes his running shots, doesn't he?
He does,
Yeah,
but I'm not
Tom-
that
Tom-
quick. Yeah,
He's a
I'm
stylish
much more.
runner.
He's not
Tom
that quick. They
Cruise.
just speed the film up. We could speed your
Yeah,
film
yeah.
up.
You'd need to. I'd still look
Yeah.
like I was in slow motion though. That's the problem. You need to like 10 times the speed. So,
That'd be
but
good
yeah, I'm
fun,
up for the film. Yeah, let's sell the rights.
Yeah, that's it.
You could play yourself if you started a few acting roles round Howden and that. You know, you could
Yeah,
get
well, my
yourself ready
feet.
for it.
Yeah, I could. My feet could be their own stunt doubles.
Yes, possibly so. If they're
Yeah.
still around.
Yes, exactly. If they haven't worn away by that point. Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
Sorry.
we could have Tom Cruise playing you and Jason Statham playing your shoes. They're just kicking everybody in all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a very good idea. Yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah.
So that's going to be the back end of the year, plus Burnley, plus Leeds, plus whoever else makes it up.
Well, you
into
can't stick all them onto it.
Listen,
Yeah.
you have to for a further challenge. That's what we.
Well, listen, I do want to do another challenge. That is the honest truth. I
Well,
do
like
want to do something else.
The Forrest Gump one was really good, but in England, you'd only be running from coast to coast. You'd be going from Robin Hood's Bay to Preston or somewhere, wouldn't you? It'd be
Yeah.
really short.
Not
You'd do
quite as
about
glamorous.
400 laps.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I could do anything next, and you know, logistics wasn't an issue, and time and work and all these other things, something that really appeals to me is running from New York to Miami. I love that idea of doing
Oh,
that.
right,
So
yeah.
either starting at the New York Marathon or starting at the Miami Marathon, and then working my way up or working my way
Not
down.
stopping.
So,
But what
yeah.
about Gators?
Down would be
Well,
best, easier.
Yeah, it'll be getting hotter and hotter though as you're going down.
That is one factor to consider. But
If you're
that's
heading into winter.
Yeah, but anyway, that's it. That would be if there was no. Obviously, there's huge logistical issues to do that, and it'd take about 50 days. So it'd be as it stands, it's not viable. But if I could, and logistics weren't an issue, I would love to do that.
Well, we'll see if we can push the word out and get some sponsorship.
Yeah, if you can make it happen, I would definitely do it. It's a big. After finishing each of these challenges is a big like now what or what now, and that's the thing. Because it's not just about completing, or as in my case, not completing the challenge. It's about the organisation. It's about the worries, the fears, the trying to get everything in place and getting people to help and so on. All those things that were a pain in the backside before were an important part of the whole thing that I miss. Like, which is, it seems nuts really thinking about it, because at the time it was like there were annoyances, things going wrong, but they're an important part of all the ingredients of doing it and everything that I miss about it. So the challenge itself was like the icing on the cake. That wasn't it. It's all the whole thing, and it takes up such a big part of your life.
Yeah, but
that when it's gone, you're like you feel like something's missing from you, and that's how I feel. So it is difficult, because I think it's got to stop at some point. I've got to find something else to do that doesn't maybe involve me running, something I could sit down doing. But as it stands now, I just keep feeling like, what next? What challenge can I do next?
Well, you could do it in a car then, couldn't you? The New York to Miami, that'd be a bit better.
It would be easier. Yeah, I'm not
just
sure
do it
I'd
in a
get the
car.
same level of sponsorship for that. But
Well,
still,
the music could be better on radio and that sort of stuff.
That's
I mean,
true.
you don't have to be running's a bit. You've got to carry a lot of gear, haven't you? Why not run in a car?
Run in a car.
Yeah, you could maybe pedal it.
Yeah,
Maybe a
or have a
bike.
treadmill.
What about
A
bike?
treadmill in a car.
Put that on a train. Treadmill on a train.
Yeah, you could go on a train.
Yeah, there you
or
go.
in the back of a lorry.
Yep.
A
Sorted.
treadmill on the back of a lorry.
Yeah, don't tell the driver.
Time.
I think we've moved away from the core of the challenge.
We have a little bit.
Yeah, but the challenge is too hard. You've got to sort of break it into its components and choose the easy bits.
No, only do the hard is the
no?
draw. The hard is the draw, not the easy.
Okay, right. Well, I feel I'm learning. I'm on a learning curve with this sort of stuff. This adrenaline junkie thing. I mean, obviously, after my golf, just putting a bit more energy into something is quite, it's very rewarding.
It is very rewarding. How did you feel this morning after your goal?
I felt better than Elliot after his run, I feel.
Yeah, feet were probably a bit in better condition as well.
I had to do a day's work though, didn't I? So
There is
I've
that.
done my steps today. It's
Yeah.
never ending. But no, I mean, what you've done, Elliot, fantastic, and it'll be brilliant
Fantastic.
hearing what you're planning next when you get around to it. There's no rush. You need to, like you say, just chill for a bit and get into selling coffee.
Exactly. Yeah, get my beer belly back.
Yeah, get that beer. But where are you getting a beer belly from selling coffee?
Wow, it's funny. Yeah, funny you should say that. Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you do your negotiating?
Listen, it's a bit, coffee is a very boozy culture.
All right, okay. It's a repping culture then, is it? Do you drive around in a Granada?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pogworth or whatever. I don't know what the
Yeah.
current.
A Capri.
All right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
They went out a Model D, didn't they? D-Reg. So are they brought them back yet?
Well, you know what? I saw someone had a Capri out in Howden yesterday, which surprised me. But I used to love Capris, and I think they've got a new model out now. It's been rehashed. Is that the right
I
word?
think it's
I
an
don't know,
electric
but
one as well. I think it's
Yeah.
electric.
Well, the Mustang was, wasn't it? They've got like a Mustang that's
Mustang electric one,
now,
yeah.
So there's.
But the Capri was the English version of the Mustang.
Yeah,
Right.
I suppose, yeah, pretty much.
I remember someone telling me, I don't know if it's true, that they had to bring out a quicker police car after I'm not sure if it's a 2.8 or the 3-litre Capri come out, that the police cars couldn't keep up with it. So they had to.
They'd have been in the Rovers then.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, they
that's
struggled,
right.
weren't they? They had to stop at a petrol station every day. They did about 16 miles a gallon, didn't they, those Rovers?
Yeah.
We may have had one.
I can relate. That's how my body felt when I was running, to be honest.
Yes.
Well, I think we've covered everything. Have we covered everything, Alex? Do you want to go through?
All
right.
There's just one more thing. I need to know about the Trek bars. What sort of bars and stuff did you eat on the run?
Oh, your guilty pleasures.
Yeah, well, it wasn't guilty pleasures. It was just like kids' party food. So it was
hot dog sausages and.
Well, anything I could get my hands on. So donuts, crisps. Yeah, I would
Chicken
eat.
dippers.
So primarily, you will get runners that will measure things out exactly to, how many grams of carbs, fat, protein. I didn't go to those lengths. So in the morning for breakfast, I'll just eat as much as I could do without feeling uncomfortably full. And then every hour I would stop to replenish my drinks and then eat something else. So I'd either have crisps or Haribo sweets or basically anything I could cram in. So like the Trek bars that are like protein flapjacks. But the focus was on eating as much carbohydrate as I could as a focus, and then I would have try and get some protein in throughout the day as well. So I didn't measure anything out. I just ate as much as I could.
You've never gone flat.
Oh, I bet he has. I bet he's gone flat.
So when he charges up, he'll download his. We'll download ours.
Yeah,
and
I'm still recording.
then the editing.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, but I'm back. I'm back.
Did he go flat?
It just went on to buffering kind of thing, reconnecting and buffering.
That's a better picture than before as well.
Yeah.
There you go. So
earlier.
Yeah, you've buffed me up.
Ooh.
Yes, the actress said to the bishop, get a bit near the knuckle now.
Oh yeah.
So brilliant. I think we've got through everything that we wanted to go through. Was there anything you wanted to ask us about anything at all in this interview?
No. Oh, it's all good. I feel like we covered it all.
I think we have.
I feel like this is an interview.
Yeah. Look, you've got the job, but the money isn't what we originally offered you.
Yeah.
And there's no holidays.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much, Elliot. That's been brilliant.
Yeah. If we lose you.
If we lost him again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And have a great time around Howden with all the drunks.
Yeah. So we'll sign off, shall we? I think we've lost him again.
Sign off. Put it all in the
thing and see what it comes out with.
And see what we can do. And then we'll do an editing day maybe tomorrow or Monday or whatever.
Yeah,
You have to
and
let
we've
us
got to
know.
ask people to subscribe as well, because we need subscribers on and likes and shares and stuff like
God,
that. We've got to remember to do that.
that seems excessive.
It
You don't want
is, I
people
know.
liking
But-
us.
All right.
Okay, brilliant. Right, I'll
cut it
speak to you
off.
later.
Cheers. Bye.
Right. Bye. Oh, I was going to turn my gimbal off then. It's not even on. Right, I'll leave this joint if I can.